Look at that. There it is. It's all over.
Thank you, Sarah, and I'm back. But welcome everyone to the 2019 Toyota AFL Premiership season. There is a picture book that so many families have read to their kids called Why I Love Footy. And here is the cover. It's written by Michael Wagner, a Melbourne author, and it's from a young fan's point of view. And the child says it all in the very first line. There are a bazillion reasons to love footy. Now, a bazillion is a sort of brilliant Donald Trump-sounding number, one that would be tempting to use somewhere, I imagine, like Jeff Kennett has a bazillion views. But the boy in the book explains why he loves footy, and he loves pulling on his jumper before going to a game. He loves catching the train with his family. He loves the excitement and the anticipation as he nears the ground. He loves buying the footy record and marking the goals down with his dad. He loves sitting in the same seats, getting to know the fans around him. He loves the smell of the freshly cut grass. He loves the mascots, the banners, the ceremony of the ball being held aloft to start the game. And he loves the game itself, the marks, the tackles, the breathtaking skills, the speed, the toughness, the miracle goals.
Crows with the numbers at ground level. It's still in. Eddie fooled them all. Escaped. Eddie bats. Eddie bats. Not his pocket, but his goal, and his people celebrate.
He loves the cheer squads, the crowd, and he definitely loves getting a pie at half-time. He loves the contest. He loves the close finishes. He loves the thrill of a win, hugging his mum and dad, singing the song. But he cries sometimes when his team loses. He loves kick to kick on the ground after the game. He loves the train ride home and watching the replay on the TV. And then he goes to bed dreaming that his team might win the granny like the Eagles this year, dreaming that he might even one day play in the AFL. And that book has so much of why we all fell in love with footy whenever we did. And none of us are sure when that exact moment was or what the exact thing was. Surprisingly enough, my vision wasn't to be the CEO of the league and have every decision you make forensically examined by Jared and Robbo. No, like most kids, and increasingly boys and girls, I wanted to be a player. And not just any player, I wanted to play for Sturt and be Rick Davies. I like Rick Davies, the Jumbo Prince. In 1983, I turned 10, and the Jumbo Prince kicked 151 goals in a season. But, unfortunately, my reality couldn't keep up with my imagination, and a lack of ability generally puts paid to a lot of people's dreams like that. But the great joy of my professional life is that I now do what I do, and that I'm part of an extraordinary industry and work with such an amazing group of people, of clubs, of leagues, of corporate partners, supporters and fans, invested and passionate to a person, occasionally at odds, but always with the game's best interests at heart. This precious thing, this game that we love. And the difficult thing when you love something so much is to recognise when change is in the best interest of the game, when action should outweigh standing still. When vision for a stronger footy future should override the beating drums of nostalgia. I think of Alan Aylett and his vision for a national competition, the courage he showed, the heat he must have had to absorb. Our game is in really good shape, thanks to people like Alan Aylett and then all of the others who have made brave, progressive decisions since we became a national game. As Richard said, we're coming off all-time record crowds, not quite a bazillion, but over 7 million people went to the footy last year, and as Richard said, over 1 million members signed up to our clubs. And the third season of AFLW has further established its place in the national sporting landscape. And our participation rates across the board continue to grow with our national presence. And in 2019, we will play matches again in every state and territory across the country. There are always challenges and different views, but we will continue to work with the industry, provide leadership and challenge the status quo. The last 3 premiership stories have been astonishing and thrilling. The Western Bulldogs, Richmond and the West Coast Eagles. 3 unexpected premiers and 3 unforgettable grand finals with 6 different teams. And, as we've talked about tonight, last year's decider was one for the ages. I remember being totally in the moment, in the contest in a way that for me is rare. Because because in a grand final, in an epic contest, with a kick in it at the death, there was no risk left to worry about for the year. I wasn't wanting for one team or another, just literally lost in the game. Because what we were seeing was brilliant and absorbing and terrifying and important. And because the best of our game, which at its best is better than any game in world sport, was in full noise. In the Melbourne sunshine, which had hosted a week-long celebration leading into the game. The MCG, full. The crowd screaming and yelling, willing their team. McGovern leaving his man, the instinct and the aerials. The precision of the pass. The courage of Vardy to play on. The Ryan mark, the athleticism. The Sheed mark, the controversy. The composure, the Sheed goal. Michael Wagner couldn't write that script. And now we're about to embark upon the next seasonal journey. And it'll be our competition that makes the headlines, but the DNA of football will touch our lives every day in so many ways. Country football clubs continue to be the focal point of their communities. Auskick centres, teaching skills and feeding dreams. Footy Colours Day, the most popular day of the school year. Girls and women moving from outliers to the national stage. Conversations in lunchrooms, on work sites, in boardrooms, in the outer. How will the Hawks go without Mitchell? Will Cripps win the Brownlow? How will Rewalt combine with Lynch? Who would you rather, Fife or Danger? Can the Eagles go back-to-back? And we heard it's a yes tonight. What time will the grand final be? Day, twilight, night? Well, the answer in 2019 is day, and it will be bounced at 2:30 p.m. Here's the one I like. Do you know that every team has recruited a Rioli has won a premiership within 3 years? In 1990, the Hawks drafted Willie Senior and they won the 91 flag. In 98, Essendon drafted Dean and they won in 2000. Then Hawthorn drafted Cyril and won in 08. The Tigers drafted Daniel and won the 2017 premiership. And of course, most recently, Willie kept the tradition going of the Eagles in 2018. It's why we love footy. Everyone's relationship with the game is different, but one thing is a constant. It's emotional and it's very, very real. I wish everyone the best for the Toyota Premiership season. I know how much work all of you in the room have done. Good luck to everyone, and I hope that they are your colours flying out of the cannon at the end of the season. I'll see you at the footy.